We are now live.
Right. Hi and hello to all beautiful souls out there. And it's a wonderful day in Cancun today, a bright sunny day at the beach. Welcome to 30 Minutes Exploring Coaching, a channel where world-class leaders and coaches gather to share insights and information on coaching and you for the benefits of all. Today, I'm delighted to have with me here someone who used to black out every weekend to traveling to 26 countries around the world while still running a business at the same time. How is that possible? Well, especially from someone who even grew up hating sales, thinking that sleazy salesperson whose only objective was to take away people's money. I'm consciously confused now. Well, today, she's one of the most sought after coach, healer, and mentor who empowers unsatisfied women to fall in love with life through her subconscious reprogramming coaching program. That sounds interesting. Well, welcome, Renee Sarah Lim, to 30 Minutes Exploring Coaching, and glad to be able to meet up with you on this beautiful sunny day, the eve of Valentine for some, and it's a Valentine Day for some. Welcome, Renee.
Thank you, Remy.
Renee, share with us, what have you been up to lately?
So today I just got back from an island called Isla Mujeres, and it's an island based off Cancun. At the moment, I'm in Playa del Carmen, so it's not exactly Cancun, but it's an island off Cancun, and I went snorkeling today. I saw a museum that's underwater, so they have sculptures underwater, and I went snorkeling around, and it was absolutely beautiful. So for the past 2 months and a half, I have been traveling all around Mexico while building my business and helping clients and working from anywhere I want, which has been a real dream because my dream and vision has always been to work on the beach and work near the beach. And here we are. Like, not exactly in Cancun, I'm in Playa del Carmen, but I'm in Mexico and I am near the beach. So it's a real dream.
Wow, awesome. Life's a beach there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, since it's either Valentine's Eve or Valentine's Day to all, I would say let's talk about the love, right? It's the topic and the theme of today. And coming
Yes.
from a place of blacking out on most weekend, in your past, I'm sure self-love plays a very important part through your journey towards transformation, Renee. Well, I'm sure me and all those tuning in today would love to hear you sharing your journey with us. Renee?
Yes. So basically, I grew up in Malaysia, and I was always someone that had a lot of troubles growing up. For example, I never had a good relationship with my family. I never had a good relationship with my dad. I mirrored the behaviors that I saw from him because, of course, as a child, that's what we do. We mirror what we see around us and what is in our environment. And basically, I then moved to Australia at 11 years old. And I grew up in an environment where society says alcohol is okay, drugs is okay-ish. And I would do that every weekend. I would remember going to the club till 6 a.m. I would be absolutely blacked out. I would have to have 7 shots of alcohol, of vodka. Like I remember just exchanging the flavor of vodka every weekend because it just tasted so bad one weekend. I had to go for another flavor the next. And then the next time I'm going to put another flavor, and then rinse and repeat, because I would always drink at least 7 shots to a point where I was not going to vomit or pass out, but I would be still somewhat capable to actually leave the house, party, talk to someone, but never remember it at all. And I would do this every single weekend, and I thought it was normal because that's what everyone was doing. Everyone was partying, everyone was drinking, and going out, and like I was just like, that's what everyone is doing, so I'm gonna do it. But I did it to a bit more of an extreme um, than most, and I just remember I would come home with like cuts and bruises. I've got a scar on my leg here. I've got a scar here on my bottom lip
Wow.
from, and I've just got scars like not everywhere, but these are my two biggest ones from blacking out, drinking. And one night I actually ended up in hospital because I split my head open, at a bar, and so that was going on for about maybe I would say 4 years. I would say about 4 years. Yep, that went on like on and off for 4 years. And in turn, my health took on for the worse. Like my liver came back with the test results of a high enzyme that was showing signs towards fatty liver. And so that made me realize, okay, I really need to stop, and I need to actually slow down a lot. And not just that though, but it was everything combined. I ended up COVID hit, and I ended up having to do a lot of the internal work and self inner reflection. And I asked myself, look, what is it that I want to do? And as I was still studying, well, as I was a psychology student at that time, I realized behind the scenes, I'm still not the person I want to be. I'm still sleeping with an ex-partner, and I am still getting blackout drunk, and I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not taking care of my health. And I had this ego of, okay, I'm a psychology student, I know everything, and psychology is the best way to go. But then my life just changed like a complete 360 when I realized the power of the mind and actually taking in control of my own reality and understanding subconscious programming. Because all my beliefs, all my limiting beliefs, and all the new way of thinking that I was trying to reprogram myself into, and the new version of myself that I wanted to be, it was something that I could decide on. And I realized, okay, wow, I actually have the power to change things around. I have the power to create my own life rather than be a victim of it. And so I decided from those 3 months that I was locked up in a room where I actually couldn't leave my house for months, for 3 months, and I did, a 72-hour water fast, which I didn't eat anything for 72 hours. I just drank water. And then I did it again for 24 hours, but this time no food and no technology, no electronics, nothing. Just me, my thoughts, just sitting there. I did go for a walk because at that time I actually was allowed to go for a walk. Finally, they let us out to exercise. But basically I just really sat with my thoughts, and I really sat with myself, and I asked myself, look, what is it that I want to do in this lifetime? And I realized I want to help people. And I found that psychology wasn't going to allow me to look at a holistic scale of the emotional side, the spiritual side, the physical side, taking into healing, into all levels, and understanding human transformation at a very deeper scale, like I understood it. And I transformed my life, not from my psychology degree, which it helped, even though it really helped, but from the things that I learned through courses, through subconscious reprogramming, through all of the healing work that I've done, inner child work, shadow work, um, and that really has transformed my life. Now I don't feel like I need to drink. I really barely do drink it nowadays. Um, I don't take the same drugs that I don't take MDMA. I used to take a lot of MDMA. Um, and I just feel more fulfilled with what I am building and who I am and wanting to take care of myself because knowing that next day I'm going to feel tired from drinking, I just couldn't ever bear that thought and put myself through that again. And I still don't really understand how I used to do that every weekend because my body would just shut down. Like I would starting to get a lot of acne. I was gaining weight. I was not having my period. It was not good.
Oh. Well, in the coaching, we tend to talk a lot about the six core needs of a human. And I believe
Mhm.
this love and connection is on the top three of the six among the six core needs. So even though myself are not even aware the importance of this love and connection part, we only know about some people fall in love with someone or the love we have towards our parents, relative, or siblings, and all that. But there's one big missing puzzle that I myself even are not really aware of consciously, which is the self-love part to many. So,
Mhm.
can you please share with us from your perspective or person that have not really leaning deep into this area of self-love? What is actually self-love to you?
Yeah, very powerful question. To me, self-love is not I see that society has that perception that self-love is, pampering yourself, taking yourself, buying some nice clothes or like pampering yourself with a massage, a facial, which and I do believe that is a form of self-care, but self-love is really that full form of acceptance of self, how like who you are as a person. Do you like you? Do you like yourself when you're not with people? Do you enjoy your own time alone? Because if you can't sit with yourself without needing that validation from other people, from a partner, from friends, then that you're always constantly seeking for that validation outside of yourself. You're never ever going to find that. And so you're constantly chasing something that you're never going to be able to get because and therefore if you're constantly chasing something outside of yourself, you would be chase like if someone you would rely on them to make you happy. You would rely on them, you know, if they gave you major day worse, or if they said something that triggered you, you're constantly giving your power away. You're constantly letting the external dictate how you feel. And so the true form of self-love is really coming to a place where look, I can't say that I'm always there because it's a journey, but it's coming to a place where you know yourself so well that you will never let anyone walk over you. You will never let anyone dictate how you're going to feel today. You're never going to let anyone take your power away, essentially. It's really having that sense of, I know who I am. I love myself enough to never let anyone walk over me. I know myself enough to have these set of boundaries. I love myself enough that whatever happens, I have my own back. If someone is here to talk shit about me, I'm not, I can pick myself up from it. Um, I don't, it doesn't ruin my day. It's it's really about self-acceptance and acknowledging that each part of yourself is there to be wanting to be heard and then constantly working through that, healing that, and then whatever makes you feel good. Maybe for me, what makes me feel good and makes me love myself is through giving myself gifts because my love language, one of my like biggest love languages is gifts. And so when I buy myself gifts and I intentionally buy myself gifts and I'm like, look, Renee, you've done a good thing today. I'm going to buy this. Yes, you may need it, but look, I also want to buy this for you. And that makes me feel a lot of love for myself, and it makes me feel a lot more whole. And it really is that form of giving back to myself and acknowledging me for my efforts. Because sometimes we just get so caught up in life, we forget to acknowledge ourselves.
That's interesting. Well, you mentioned a very interesting word, that is the language of love that you speak to yourself is through gift. I'm sure there are other languages of love. Can you please share for the benefits of all what other languages of love that a person can give to himself or to herself other than the gift of gift?
Gifts.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Oh, okay. So I'm not sure if you are familiar with the book, The Five Love Languages.
Yes. Tracy
Yes?
Chapman.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So amazing book. And he explains basically that, is it he or she? I don't know.
Yeah.
He basically explains that just like we speak a language, we also communicate through love through a language. So there are primarily five love languages that we can show love or receive love, give love or receive love. And the five are: number one, gift giving.
Yes.
Number two is acts of service.
Yeah.
Number three is words of affirmation.
Mm.
Number four is physical touch. And number five is, if I'm not mistaken, it's acts of service, physical touch.
The acknowledgement part.
Acts of, am I missing something? Acts, gifts, physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service.
Validations.
No. I'm just gonna quickly look this up.
It's okay because different people speak different languages of love, right? If we don't speak the same language,
Quality time.
yeah,
Quality time.
yes,
That's it. I was completely just blanked out. But yeah, so that's the five love languages um, that we communicate with. And so how we communicate with the five love languages, and how we receive, how we choose to give love and how we receive love. And we have a percentage on each
yeah,
language. So we don't predominantly just love having gifts, but we also have a percentage of like loving to hear words of affirmation. Right. And so basically, is it cool if I go into how we can do that for ourselves and how we can receive love and give love to ourselves?
yes. Well, it brings me to a place where it seems that from a place I come from, especially where I grew up with my culture, right, in my country or in other countries as well, putting self first seems like being a very act of selfishness. So, even though me growing up as an elder, a person in the family, I have siblings and all that, to receive things for myself and all that, I say, wow, I should ask whether my brothers or my sisters would like to have them first. If not, if they don't want to have it, then only I'll have it for myself. If I were to take all for myself, then it will be selfish. But how can a person draw a sand line between practicing self-love and being selfish? What say you, Renee?
Well, self-love is a bit selfish because that's where being selfish is okay. As in the fact that you can't be fully selfish where you are out of bad intention to hurt someone or to not give that to someone. But to be selfish is an act of self-love, and to have boundaries so that you have the energy and time for yourself is a form of, so you can take care of other people. Like, if you don't have the energy or the time to take care of others and love others, then you need to also have that. So you need to love yourself enough to set those boundaries. For example, I if you go out, if someone asks you, like if someone asks you to hang out, and someone asks you maybe to borrow money, or maybe borrow something, but you're not comfortable with it, um, maybe they can perceive that as selfish, or maybe they can perceive that as, you're not being kind, whatever it may be. And that's where you need to have that, draw that line, and be selfish. And it's okay. Like, being selfish is okay, because if you break that trust within yourself, that's going to do more damage than you people pleasing and saying yes all the time. That's going to do more damage internally, because you're breaking that trust and you're breaking that bond within yourself. And in turn, it's going to lead down through years of, people pleasing tendencies, maybe a form of depression. It's it's self betrayal. And if you do that time and time again, you're going to let other people do that to you, because you're a mirror for everything. You're a reflection to the world. If you cannot do those things for yourself, you're literally showing other people.
Yeah.
You're telling other people, I can't, like, to disrespect you, and to not trust you, because you can't even trust yourself, and you can't even set those boundaries for yourself. So everything is a mirror, everything is a reflection. You need to be able to love yourself first, because that way you can show others how to love you. You can show others how to respect you. You can hold that standard for yourself, so that you have those high standards, and others also can come in and hold yourself to that standard, and they are of a high regard as well. They hold you to a high regard.
Yes. You mentioned this people pleasing part. If okay, it brings me back. Does a way a person being brought up, or the childhood experience and all that, has great impact on a person's level of self-love as an adult? What do you think?
Absolutely. Always, 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 always. Like, the programming and the environment that we grew up as children is going to have such a huge impact in how we show up for ourselves and how we see ourselves. If you had a parent that was always telling you, go kiss your uncle, right? Go kiss your uncle on the cheek. And even if you didn't want to, you had to. And that way you were denying yourself of what you actually wanted to do. You were
Yeah.
letting, like, you are constantly and this is where people pleasing comes from. You're betraying, like, you're breaking that trust within yourself to do something that you don't absolutely want to do. And that's where we grow up as adults, and we feel the need to please others. We feel the need to let others dictate how we feel, and let them walk over us, because we never learned as children how to say no, and how to actually listen to ourselves and what we want, but instead to listen to the parent and listen to someone outside of us, because that's the right thing to do, right?
Yeah. When I spoke about this self-love thing to some of my peers or surrounding people, they tend to have this perception. They say, oh, come on, Remy, doing this self-love thing is for those who have a very a feminine side, more of a feminine side of a person, be it you're a guy or a woman. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm a tough person. I don't need this self-love thing. I'm sure, in fact, that I would want to be more macho in terms of, some women think to have this kind of perception too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
practicing self-love towards myself, compassion and all that, well, that will bring me like a softer person and people will take advantage of me. How do you, as a coach, how do you clear these so-called perceptions of people that practicing self-love is only for the softer type of people?
Mm, mm. That's a very interesting one. I suppose the concept of self-love is more towards the females and more towards the feminine, but self-love is a form that every single human being needs to practice, and to really understand. I think men just need to, like, if a man is saying, it's not macho, then they're obviously a hurt man. They haven't grown up yet. Like, I'm honestly going to say that, like, you're still a little boy if you think that it's not macho to have self-love. um and so you, as you grow up and as you realize how important it is to be in touch with, like, yourself, and how to really love who you are, that way you can show up better for your woman, you can show up better for yourself, and and your relationships in general will start to improve. The relationship with your family, the relationship with self, that's nothing feminine about it. It's really a act, a form of building that trust and love. Like, if a man can be in a relationship with a woman, like, why can't he be in a relationship with himself?
Yeah. I used to say, heal the little man or little woman, and the man or woman will show up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
A lot of unhealed issues that we tend to, without realizing it, let it dominate our life, in our
Hmm.
subconscious mind and all that. So for a
Yeah.
person who, now that you bring this awareness, we talk about these self-love things and all that, we raise the awareness of this having and practicing self-love. So if I'm a person that, well, this is something totally a bit new to me, not to say totally, but a bit new to me, where can I start through your coaching perspective? Where can I start, Renee?
Mm. Very good question. To start, it really is to, there's so many ways, right? Like, just begin listening to yourself. What is it that you want? Like, clear out the noise. Start building that self-trust. If you say, today I want to go to the gym, or today I'm going to eat healthy, like, follow through with that. You need to build, that's a form of building self-trust. If you say you're going to do something, do it, and actually stick to it, and then commit to it, and commit to yourself. um, there's so many ways that you can build that love and that trust. And really is, you can start by doing the love language quiz, which is on Google. You can just type in the 5 love languages, find out what is your love language, and you can start giving your love to yourself and showing love to yourself, based on your love language. And I can just give you guys some examples, which is, with, if your love language is physical touch, you can buy yourself some, like, really soft clothes or nice PJs, or something, like changing your bed sheets. It's a nice way to give yourself physical touch, or get yourself a massage. That's also a really nice way to love yourself. When it comes to words of affirmation, you can always write yourself a love letter. You can talk to yourself in the mirror and just say, I love you, I love you, I love you, and see what comes up. Um, with the acts of service, you can go clean your car, wash your car, you can cook yourself a nice meal, you can, I don't know, do your laundry, whatever it is, like, go show yourself love in that way, but intentionally. Obviously, we all do those things that are mundane, or buy groceries. I love going grocery shopping. Those are mundane things, but if you set the intention that, okay, this is a way to, a form of self-love and doing this for myself, then it feels good and it feels better. Then we've got the physical touch, quality time. So quality time, how can you spend more time with yourself? And maybe that is to take a stroll at the beach, or walk, or take, I like to take my journal to the park and just journal wherever I can. So you can do that as well, to spend some quality time with yourself. And then what's the last one, Remy? Just help me here. Like there was physical touch, words of affirmation, gifts giving. Gift giving, have I covered that? Uh-huh. So gift giving is where you can just buy yourself a gift. Like that's basically a very, very simple. Buy yourself some flowers, buy yourself a gift that you've been wanting to give yourself. And so those are like some of the ways that you can start loving yourself today and make that commitment. And it's also the first thing first with anything is to make that commitment and decision. Today, I'm going to love myself. Today, I this is what I'm going to do for myself. It's a form of I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to have a shower. I'm going to put my makeup on. I'm going to dress well today. I'm going to smell good today. And I'm doing this for me and not for anyone else. I'm doing it because it makes me feel good. I'm doing it because I like it and not for anyone else. And continuously do that and repeat it over and over again. And that way you're building that relationship, right? Like just like a relationship with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or husband, you have to nurture it. And so that is nurturing the relationship with yourself.
Wow,
And that's how you can do it.
interesting. But I'm sure some women who are listening in today or tuning in today, when you mention the gift part, the languages of love, the gift of love, of giving yourself a gift, I'm sure some of them will say, okay, I'm going to buy myself a new shoe after this. First step to loving myself.
Yes,
Now,
yes, yes.
through my experience, in my opinion, I find that a person's self-esteem, the level of a person's self-esteem has got a lot of influence on the person practicing self-love. What say you on this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Your self-esteem has a like it's very much linked to your how much you love yourself. And your self-esteem is it has to be built as well, right? We have very low self-esteem because we lack that self-trust. And we keep denying ourselves of what it is that we want to do or that self-trust or self-love, and we keep denying and breaking that bond within us because of years and years and years of programming or never actually being able to learn how to really truly love ourselves. And yeah, it's we don't have a very strong self-esteem, and so this is a skill. It's a constant commitment and decision to ourselves and building that again and again and again. What are your thoughts about this? Because I'm curious to know about yours.
Yes, I find that especially the three parts of a self-esteem of a person, like, well, am I worthy of the love that I'll be giving myself? That's why some people, even though I myself, when I start to practice this, I feel guilty when I do something that I love to do for myself. The guilty
Mm-hmm.
consciousness. So the worthiness is very important. I'm worthy to receive love. And then the second one
Mm-hmm.
is I'm lovable. I'm lovable. To love myself. If I can't love myself, how can others love me? This lovable part. And of course, the other part that sums up these three is whether I'm enough, I'm worthy enough, I'm lovable enough, or I'm good enough
Mm-hmm.
to love myself before others can love me. Well, I think if
Mm-hmm.
we can build these three structures strong to boost up our self-esteem, I think practicing the self-love part shouldn't be a problem for many. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like bringing yourself. See, it's really letting go of those underlying feelings of guilt, shame, and um. Just give me a sec here, Remy. So they can't hear you, but they can hear me this whole time. This sound has just been me. Oh
It's
no.
okay.
Thank
Don't
you so much,
worry.
Jason, for sharing.
We all be doing a
Um,
rerun to play out to the YouTube and all that, no problem. So being mindful of time, Renee. Okay, before we
mhm.
end our session today, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay.
perfectly.
So what is one key loving message to all the lovely people who are tuning in on this lovely day today?
One key loving message
Yes.
is to put yourself first always, because you will always only have yourself. And this is coming from someone not just to be like that independent, strong woman. Of course, I want to be taken care of as well. But it's really to have my own back all the freaking time. Anyone else that comes in is an addition. Anyone that doesn't hold, that isn't that standard that I've set for myself, I'm not going to entertain them, and I easily cut them out. And so it's so important. The reason why we need to put ourselves first is because I see so many people in toxic relationships, and they let people just walk over them and cheat on them, and they just have no sense of self-worth, break that off, and it's like that addictive cycle. And that's why it's going to just cause you suffering and pain. And to really come back to the place where, okay, I'm going to have my own back. I am my own rock. Like, whatever happens, happens. And that way you can attract that love to you that mirrors that same love that you have for yourself. The relationships improve, your overall state improves. You're not going to keep constantly chasing and seeking validation outside of yourself through through the applications like Tinder and Bumble and all the things out there that you can just like sit there and swipe, but like you're genuinely okay with just being by yourself. You don't feel like you need to go on millions of dates, even though like if you want to go on dates, that's absolutely fine as well. But it's that peace. It's always that inner peace, right? That we're all seeking. It's always that inner peace, that fulfillment, the passion, the love. So coming back to it all begins with self-love.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, thank you so much for your loving and valuable time, Coach Renee. And to all who are tuning in today, if you want to raise your standard towards loving yourself, feel free to get in touch with our beautiful Coach Renee at the contact down the screen, and you can get in touch with any one of us. So till then, happy Valentine's Day to all who are tuning in. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.